My name is Mariah Moore. This is speech number 3, informative, modified, doesn't mean monster. And then my note cards.
Okay.
I'm Chuck Kurtowski, Mariah's grandfather.
Johnny, Dad.
Melissa, friend.
Debbie, grandmother.
Imagine growing a tomato plant in your garden that the bugs didn't eat and grew twice as fast as any other tomato plant that you've ever had. Sounds great, huh? Well, that's what GMOs do. They make plants do what we want them to. Today, I'm going to talk about why GMOs are not as bad as the media portrays them. Hence the title of my speech, Modified Doesn't Mean Monster. The media portrays GMOs to be a monster that harms humans and animals if consumed, saying that they cause things such as cancer and other harmful diseases to both livestock and humans. Today, my goal is to break these myths and tell you what the actual GMOs really do. According to an article by Forbes magazine, 2,000 plus reasons why GMOs are safe to eat and environmentally stable from 2013 says that every major international science body in the world has reviewed multiple independent studies and coming to the consensus that GMO crops are as safe or safer than conventional or organic foods. Lots of propaganda is being put on the internet speaking poorly of GMOs, but they contain little fact. I will be sharing 3 main points with you today about GMOs, which are, what are GMOs? What do we use them for? And what the media says about GMOs and why that's incorrect. It is important to know what GMOs are. So what are they? GMO stands for genetically modified organisms, and in order for a food to be considered a GMO, the genes within the organism had to have been modified. And this is where a lot of the propaganda starts about saying GMOs are so bad. The gene is split to incorporate positive traits from one organism and from another, combining 2 positive things to make one super plant. So, going back to our tomato example, taking the insect resistance capabilities of one plant and combining it with a fast-growing plant, creating a tomato plant that is not only insect resistant, but also grows twice as fast. GMOs do not contain any chemicals, although the media often portrays that they do. When modifying an organism, it is all strictly done within the genes of the plant. The benefits they achieve are due to a genetic makeup rather than injecting chemicals or other harmful things that people believe to be in GMOs. We know what GMOs are now, but what do they do? So what are GMOs used for? GMOs are used mainly in the crop industry, and they are used in the crop industry and are considered GMOs when they can be insect resistant, they need much less water, grow twice as fast, and produce double the yield. The reason that we started using GMOs was because we are having an increase in the population, which means that we need more crops grown on less land. As we continue to industrialize our entire America, we have less and less area used for farmland. GMOs allow us to use smaller land and create more crops quicker that don't require as much water in the droughts, and also you don't have to use as much pesticides on. So the fact that there's actually less chemical matter on GMOs because they don't need a pesticide as compared to conventional or organic foods, which often have to be sprayed for bugs. Livestock also contain or consume GMOs, which means that some of the meat people are eating they consider to be GMO filled. People don't want to consume GMO meat because they think that it is harmful to them. However, an animal can be considered a GMO also from the breeding that they have had. So by crossing 2 breeds of one animal, so say you take, we'll use dogs for example. So say you take a Corgi dog and breed it with an Australian Shepherd, you're combining 2 positive traits for herd dogs. That becomes a GMO because their genes have been modified through breeding. However, there's no chemicals or no harmful things happening to either the dogs or if the people were to consume a livestock product that was bred the same way. Seems great. So why does the media hate GMOs? The media portrays GMOs as terrible things, and this is simply due to them not knowing anything about what they're talking about. The media often states things such as they cause cancer and they're harmful to the livestock. And by eating them, we are killing our families. As stated in my intro, several studies have proven that no harm comes from consuming GMOs in livestock or humans. Although the media often states that there is so many studies done, or there's no studies done, that they are either saying that they are harmful to the people because they've done studies on rats. This is simply untrue. Many anti-GMO groups are banding together to fight the sale of GMOs, such as the Non-GMO Project. And foods are now being stamped with a non-GMO stamp, allowing people to think that they are free of GMOs. However, with the current status of how we are growing plants in America, the chances that you are eating GMO-free is slim to none. Almost all conventional foods that we are eating today contain GMOs, and often are organic organic and non-GMO foods often contain a GMO as well. They also say that they're harming the ag industry, and that the industry that feeds our country would simply not use something that would harm their industry. Those who fight GMOs simply do not understand what they do. They think that they are hybrid plants and animals with no quality of life due to being a GMO. This is simply not true, as I've stated many times today. False information is often said, such as, the science just hasn't been done, when in fact several studies have been done. Another statement was GM foods should be a concern for those who suffer from food allergies because they are not tested. Again, not true due to several studies. And both quotes were from my Forbes article that I mentioned at the beginning. GMOs are not as bad as the media makes them look. Hopefully, after listening to my speech, you are more knowledgeable on what GMOs truly are, and when you're at the grocery store, will think twice about what you're purchasing. I encourage you to be more proactive when listening to advertisements about the negative attributes of GMOs and realize that these statements are not true. Thank you. Yay!
Dad.
Chuck.